Support for Radio Friends comes from Columbia Healthy Smiles, the dental office of husband and wife team Dr. Batson and Dr. Abe, offering comprehensive and customized care to patients of all ages. Learn more by calling 573-721-9039 or online at www.columbiahealthysmiles.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, April the 27th. A pleasure to have you here today. We're going to talk a little bit about money and investments. Now, maybe you have been wringing your hands or you've been a little bit jittery over the past couple of weeks or months. Well, we have ALEX LaBRUNERIE with us from LaBrunerie Financial. Good to have you here, Alex.
Good morning, Paul. Great to be here.
The one thing that we want to start off with is the most important thing is investing is not to panic, right?
Yes, and it's, with the end of the quarter that occurred a few weeks ago at the end of March, I think there's, people are seeing drops for the first time in their stock portfolios and in their bond portfolios. So there's a lot of, anxiousness in the markets and the economy.
We had gotten used to seeing everything go up all the time. Every time we get a report, oh, it's up. Wow, I made so much money. Yeah. We were not accustomed to seeing the financial markets
Negatives.
go down. But when we were in those highs, that really was a kind of a facade there, wasn't it? Because the fact that there needs to be up and downs, in normal cycles, up and downs.
Yes, I think there's cycles and the ups, more than outnumber the downs. But currently, a large part of the stock market and the bond market, not all of the stock market, but the growth side of the stock market is down. Smaller companies, middle-sized companies, and technology companies that had grown, very fast in the last several years, not even pre-COVID, are getting sold off by investors because there is concern that a recession might be looming. I think it would be very careful that I personally have no ability to predict recessions, and a lot of people that do have ability to predict recessions are often wrong. So trying to predict a recession is something that's tough to do. But there is concern, with all the interest rate increases and inflation.
Okay. If a recession does occur, what happens?
So technically, a recession in economic terms, in our lay person's mind, is that instead of growing at say 2% a year, the American economy contracts, or there's a recession or a recess from the growth. So hence called recession. It usually means that businesses will start losing sales, jobs. Then that leads to layoffs.
Then the stock market goes down?
Down sometime within the recession, yes.
What happens to the bond market?
Bond markets go up usually as investors seek safety. They sell stocks and move to bonds. Right now, however, with the beginning of this year, bonds are down, and fairly significantly. The bond index is down minus 7.7%.
Okay, now that is...
The safe side of one's portfolio is, it's not pleasant when your safe money is losing money. That's a double whammy.
So what do you do is, right now, if you are invested in bonds and you see that your portfolio has gone down about 7% or so, you say, ooh.
Don't panic. But also review. There are lots of different bonds, and there are longer. The longer the maturity is in a bond, the more it probably went down. So there are generally prescription is to move to shorter term bonds or even to cash. However, I think this is a time, Paul, when people want to seek out counsel and advice on their bond portfolio. So, or call your advisor. I think to not panic because.
Don't just rush in and make some hasty decision.
Yes.
Because you could regret it in the long run.
Yes, right. And, this too will pass.
I like that. Feels good to hear you say that. This too will pass.
Yes.
Everything that goes down will go up, and everything that goes up comes down.
Yes. And, with the anxiety and stress of a war in the Ukraine, it's just adding to the fog. And I think it's important not to panic.
What do you see if you had a crystal ball and you were looking into the second half of 2022, what do you see occurring?
I see the technology sectors in the stock market, holding on to their lows here and maybe advancing a little. Technology drives our economy. It's a job creator, and it's has a lot of it. It's right now it's not doing well because of rising interest rates and general, elevated price earnings ratios. But I think big technology will continue to be money makers.
I read an article, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember which publication it was in, but the fact that we have gotten so used to growth over the past 10 years that we need to start changing our mind thought toward the next 10 years of things being flat. Does that make sense?
It does. Paul, that's a good angle, I think, a good perspective. And that's part of the market, the stock market, which has not gone into negative territory so far this year. And that would be commodity producers such as the energy companies and food. We in the Midwest, we have a lot of agriculturalists and farmers and ag industry experts, and it's supposedly, I'm not a farmer, but it's going to be a tough year for farming because of the costs.
Yeah.
However, there could be some angles for investors to profit there on the food processors.
Okay. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens the rest of this year and into next year. But as we started the segment off, as Alex said, don't panic. Mm-hmm. And we're going to end it by saying don't panic.
Don't panic, review and deliberate.
Yeah, review and deliberate. Now is a good time to talk to your financial advisor. Any sage words to end it with as we wrap up?
Well, enjoy the spring.
I like that. Thank you,
Time
Alex.
to enjoy it and the flowers and the red buds.
You got it. You got it. If you have any questions at all, you can give Alex and his people a call at LaBrunerie Financial. That's 573-449-5313. And if you happen to pop in there on Fridays, it's bow tie Friday.
Friday, so
mandatory. Everybody wears bow ties.
That's right.
But you don't have to wear a bow tie if you don't want to. But Alex, thank you so much for coming by. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Same here.
It's good to stay positive in our thinking and a little bit of levity there. When things aren't going quite the way you want them, it will turn around. Things will get better in the future.
Yes, they will.
All right. Thank you, Alex, for coming by. Always a pleasure chatting with you. We're out of time for today. If there is something that you would like to hear or see, please drop me a line at pepperp@missouri.edu. Bye-bye.